deal since I've been back at Auburn with the Auburn Alumni Association, so we're really looking forward to seeing everybody.
Other than the takeaway that you are right now the number 3 safety, when you evaluated the spring, what did you come away with?
No, we got some better players than me, that's for sure. But, you know, again, I'm very pleased with where we are as far as our buy-in and our attitude. The guys played extremely hard throughout spring. I really like where we are schematically. I feel like we got a lot of things accomplished. We still have a long way to go, but that's why, you know, we have the summers are very important months for us as far as May, June, and July. 3 critical months for our football team to take a step forward.
And the guys who will be coming in the fall, realistic chance for several of them to get on the field?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody will be given that opportunity, no different than I told them in the recruiting process. They'll have every opportunity in the world, but it's up to them to party.
Talk about the spring that Trey Matthews had.
Yeah, Trey, you know, Trey plays fast, plays physical. You know, I think works extremely hard at football. He's up in the building a lot. So those are things that are really pleasing to me. He needs to continue to take steps forward from a communication standpoint. You know, we put a lot on our safeties, you know, as far as the communication, that and the linebackers. So those guys got to be able to communicate. But I'm pleased with the progress. He's a guy that's going to work through the summer. I know that. I know that about him. So that's exciting.
You said that Rudy was your 3rd corner today, but I know Stephen Roberts is working in there from the more traditional corner spot. What did you see from Stephen this spring in particular?
Well, just too inconsistent. The frustrating part with Stephen for me is number 1, he's a great kid. But number 2, he's a guy that does so many good things at times, and then maybe from a lack of focus. And that's the frustrating thing for you as a coach, to see a young man that's got some ability, got some talent, which he does. He's good enough to play and play well for us, to not take advantage of his God's gifts all the time. And that's our job as coaches to get out of it. That's my job.
You'd say there's no starter at linebacker when you've got...
No, but I feel good about where we are. I feel good the fact that Casanova, Trey, and Chris, I'm not ready to anoint a starter at any position right now because I feel very comfortable with all 3, and also Justin Garrett coming on.
Is some of that motivation, though, for those guys when you say something like that, because those are established guys?
No, they pretty much rolled throughout all spring. I mean, there was not a guy that was head and shoulders throughout 15 practices above the other. So right now I couldn't tell you who's going to start at Mike. Now Trey's repped at both. Cass is repped strictly at Mike, and Chris strictly at the Will in the dime position, but Justin Garrett strictly at the Mike when he was healthy. But right now, I mean, that's wide open.
Jared Moncrief at the Sam pretty much at this point?
Right now, yeah, but you know, again, he's more of a nickel Sam for us, a situational player. You know, when we go against the true 2-back teams, we're going to need to get more girth at the position to set the edge.
How's Carl Lawson looking at
Very good. Very pleased with Carl and his progress. You know, we held him on the full contact stuff, but he did everything other than that. Great attitude, great work ethic, good football IQ, a guy that continues to strive to get better. If anything, we got to slow him down a little bit, which is a good thing.
How much, I know you're on the defensive side, but how many teams are going to struggle when Jeremy Johnson, now that he's officially named starter, how are they going to struggle against him?
Well, I think Jeremy's an extremely talented young man. I mean, he's got a great arm talent. He's got NFL arm talent, but he's also got a lot of weapons around him. You know, we have a very good offensive line. I thought those guys did an outstanding job. That starting 5 is going to be very good. We're extremely talented at the receiver position. We talk about Duke Williams and Ricardo Lewis and Jason Smith coming on the slot. Melvin Ray does some nice things. Jonathan Wallace is a really good athlete, can do a lot of different things. I think we have a very good stable of backs, and all of those guys kind of give you something a little bit different. And then at the fullback position, Petway and Cox are 2 guys that are loads. So I think we have a lot of, you know, weapons on offense.